Hey YouTube, this is the art of prepping. So should you or should you not reuse, wash out, try to recycle and have a use for your milk cartons or your milk jugs, or it could be half gallon, full gallon. Some people do this. I mean, there's a lot of preppers. In fact, they recommend taking your old milk jugs and trying to clean them out and reusing them to hold water. It's just another means or a container for water storage. This is, for the most part, very flawed and very dangerous. There's a lot of bacteria that is not so easy to get out. You got to remember that plastic is mostly porous. And so just because you put lots of hot water, maybe even bleach the container to a large degree, even use soaps and stuff, it is very possible somewhere in the crevices of the deep crevice of those containers, there could be some bacteria that wasn't killed. And when you introduce water in there and you store it long term, that bacteria could grow and grow, especially if it's not in a dark, cool area. And so what you got also is a problem of those milk containers. They're not very sturdy, and they'll break up over time. I can't tell you how many that I've had when I was a very new prepper that busted and made big messes all over the floor. In fact, some of them did some water damage to my house one time. And so I don't use them at all anymore. So they typically don't last much more than 1 to 2 years, and they'll just literally just break down right there in front of you. So these things are not good. And of course, the next thing is that these containers, especially the milk jugs and stuff, are not BPA free. So you got a lot of medley of problems here. So it's better to go with like an Aquatainer, those that are still like at Walmart that are BPA free. They can get 5, 6, or 7 gallons. They're opaque, so you don't have a lot of transmission of light. Just keep them off the ground, a few inches off the ground, so that if there's any kind of material that could transfer any kind of toxins, because plastic is still relatively porous. You keep it off the ground and also in a dark, cool area. And that's going to be a much better way to go about your water storage. And so don't rely on water bottles, milk jugs, and all that stuff. Now, some people say, well, I can't go out and buy a bunch of that, or I can't go out and buy rain barrels or any kind of barrels. And so all I have are glass containers. Actually, that's not a bad idea. But once again, if there was an earthquake in your area, there's a higher chance, especially if you have them on shelves, they can fall off and break. There are some, containers of glass are made out of glass that are pretty large. Of course, always avoid the leaded glass containers, but it's an option. And I do see a lot of prepper websites, or at least preppers that are on a major budget. They promote this idea of using glass. Yes, that's actually a pretty safe way to go. But once again, if there was a natural disaster, they're not going to be able to weather impact and so forth as maybe a heavier duty, all polymer type or plastic type of container. Also, it's a little bit more awkward to transport glass containers. And you're going to probably have to have a lot more of them than if you get a 5, 6, or 7 gallon independent type of container. So I would just say save up. And even if it takes you a long time to save up and get the containers you really need and want, over the glass. But if you have nothing else, you can clean the glass out, and that you can actually get rid of any kind of bacteria in that a lot more easier than you could for like a milk jug. So hopefully that was helpful. Thanks a lot for all your comments. Catch you soon.